Edmonton Oilers 5, Calgary Flames 3. The Oilers take Game 4, 3-1 lead in the series in round 2. Zach, let's get into the breakdown.
Yeah, what a game from the Oilers. I mean, I'm sitting here stunned still from last night. My nerves have completely been shot. It was a stressful game all the way, but I mean, you look, first shift of the game, the Oilers were able to score with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the ice. First shot on goal. It's nice to be on the other end of one of those blunders.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's nice to see them take advantage.
It feels
of
like
that,
Markstrom and Smith have reversed roles in a sense.
It's a little Freaky Friday going on, right? Like,
that
really
game was basically a Freaky Friday game, let's be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, good on the Oilers for keeping with it too. Zach Hyman, Evander Kane with some big goals in that period. You go into the second, and I actually thought the Oilers played a pretty good game, all things considering. You look at the shot attempts, and of course, it's pretty heavily skewed in Calgary's favor. But I mean, the scoring chances, the expected goal share, the Oilers did a good job of going tit for tat, so to speak, with them. And the second period, there's those 2 goals that happen really quick, right? Lindholm on the power play, that's a really nice goal from him. Not much Smitty can do on that one. And then the second one, Josh Archibald turns it over in the offensive zone. Keith gets beat wide. All of a sudden, the Flames got 2 goals here. And then, I mean, the third period, what was your reaction when you saw that puck go into the net?
I was a bit shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of like, where did it come from? Did it come from half? And then you watch a replay, it comes from the other end of the ice.
132 feet away from the net.
I've never seen a goal score like that in the NHL playoffs, I don't think.
It's wild. I mean, you see it few and far between when it happens. And, after the game, Smith was just kind of like, I didn't see it coming. I had no idea what happened. Woodcroft didn't see it. Nobody seemed to know what happened on that play. And I think it's really kind of cool to see the way the Oilers responded to it.
That was the good thing, right?
I mean, it would have been so easy for this team to just fold and just be like, you know what? Here we go again. We've blown the lead that we had, and they could have folded, and they could have come back here now having to go to Calgary with the series tied at 2, right?
Honestly, when that third goal came, when Smith led in that goal up, my first thought was like, okay, I'm going to open up the next day reaction with, Zach, screw the breakdown. We got to talk about that goal. But luckily, it didn't cost us the game. It's one of those things,
Yeah, and I mean, the Oilers came back, and they're like, okay, well, it's a 0-0 game. Next goal wins, pretty much, right? I mean, you got 10 minutes to go or so, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the star of the show. I mean,
the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins show, honestly.
It's incredible. This guy's been here for so long, and he's finally had a game that can define his time in Edmonton.
Yes, I love hearing that.
Career in Edmonton. He's been such a great player for so long for this franchise. And I love Jay Woodcroft's comments after the game, hey, let's not forget this guy was a first overall draft pick. Right? At the end of the day, he's still a guy that's got a very high skill set, and it's tremendous to see him kind of get rewarded. And it just goes to show that this Oilers team is a lot deeper than people are giving them credit. They're not a one-man team, was.
No. And, something I've been hearing recently now is people saying, oh, well, the Oilers got the easy side of the playoff bracket. I'm like, come on, just give them a little bit of credit. I mean, they're playing fantastic hockey. Sure, they're letting in some odd goals here and there, but they're getting wins, and that's what matters in the playoffs. W's, baby.
Yeah. Stealing a Daryl Sutter line right there, right?
So, for me, I don't really care who's scoring the goals. I don't care if it's McDavid carrying the team or one day it's Evander Kane, as long as we're winning,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think, some other things that were really great to see is the way the Oilers defense played in that game. Yeah. I think as a whole, that defensive unit has looked great in this series. Obviously, there was the game one sort of implosion from both teams. But at the end of the day, the Oilers defense has really settled things down. We know what the Flames are, right? They're a team that loves to get it on the forecheck. They love to get pucks in deep. They love to send a man really hard at defensemen. And I think one thing the Oilers have done really well that's probably been a major contributing factor in this series is the fact that they've moved the puck up the ice quickly.
Quickly.
They've been able to avoid those forecheckers, and I think that's something that's really been important.
For me, what shocked me about this series, and, I know the Calgary Flames can be a very good team, but it just seems like they've made it so easy for the Oilers. And I don't, of course I want to crap on Calgary and, chirp them. But honestly, it feels like it's been an easier series for the Oilers than anticipated. I thought this was going to be a closer series. I didn't think it was going to be 3-1. I didn't think the Oilers could maybe take it in 5. I mean, I still think 6 games is more realistic, 7. But it's just the Flames, they haven't been, the wagon that I thought that they could have been a cup final team.
I mean, I thought so too.
Yeah.
They had such a great regular season, and I think at the end of the day, it also goes to show just how great of a coach Jay Woodcroft is.
Yes.
Right? The fact that he's out coaching Daryl Sutter in this series. And Daryl Sutter is a guy who's got cup rings. He's got every accolade you could want as a head coach. You know, Daryl Sutter is going to go down as one of the best of all time.
Of course.
And the fact that Woodcroft is exploiting the things that he does, and not only the things he does, the things he doesn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the game, there's in the dying minutes, you know, the Flames put out their fourth line. They had Milan Lucic out there with 4 minutes left in the game. You know, inexcusable for the Flames, but hey, if you're the Oilers, you know, you'll sit there and take advantage of that every day.
What was your favorite moment of the game, you say?
Oh, man, my favorite moment. I think it's got to be Nuge's goal in
Really?
the third. I really do. It just, I think I blacked out, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
I don't even remember the play. I barely remember the play. I mean, you know, Yamamoto got bumped up onto that line. Great move by Jay Woodcroft. Said he had a bit of a gut feel about putting him up there. You know, he bangs in the corner. He gets a puck back to Barry. Barry fires the shot. And Nugent-Hopkins, like, right place, right time, you know, quick hands, and he roofed that freaking thing. And just the elation that you saw, like, the way Rogers' Place blew up, the way I heard downtown Edmonton from my apartment just going berserk. You were at the Pine. What was the reaction like there?
Well, it was pretty surreal. Just like you were mentioning, like everyone was so excited, jubilation. For me personally, I was like, I didn't react at first. I didn't know the puck actually went in. I thought it went bar down and out. I'm like, is there going to be a review? I'm like, just knowing the Oilers in these situations, like, oh, this is going to get called up. But no, it was a straight up goal. I'm like, okay, we're celebrating now. So it just took me a little bit to like figure out what the hell just happened, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
So
for you, what was your favorite moment? Was it that goal, or was there something else?
Actually, one that stood out to me was when McDavid kind of got flat, not really flat, but he got taken out behind the net, behind Markstrom's net, and then the puck gets to Evander Kane's stick and he just scores. Beautiful wrist shot. I thought that was just a beautiful playoff goal. It just took advantage of a mistake the Flames made. And just because everyone was kind of furious, you know, McDavid got laid out, and they're like, oh, where's the penalty? Evander Kane says, screw the penalty, I'm just going to score.
Well, and I think a lot of that was made by Cody Ceci too, right? I mean, McDavid's hearted on the forecheck there. Ceci was the first man on the puck right afterwards. You know, he won the puck battle deep in the zone to get the puck to Leon Draisaitl, who made the pass to Kane and was able to go and roof it, right? So, and again, it comes back to, once again, the defense just playing such a key role for this team in this playoffs.
And recently, it's felt like, sure, all the eyes and attention have been on Connor McDavid, but now these last two games, first is Evander Kane. Now it's Nugent-Hopkins. Game 2, McDavid. It's like every player is having their moment.
Absolutely.
Maybe Leon Draisaitl. I mean, he's had a few moments. Like,
I mean, how about Zach Hyman?
Zach Hyman,
he's got
like,
5 goals in 4 games.
I think 2 players who are due for a big game are probably Yamamoto and Puljujärvi.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and both of those guys have still been playing really strong.
I'm not saying they haven't.
You know,
right?
but I mean, it feels like that breakout's coming, like you're saying, right? And I mean, I think that's kind of what the most exciting thing is. It's like, okay, next man up. Who's going to do it now, right? You got McDavid out there. He's doing McDavid things. Yeah. He's doing things nobody's ever seen before, let alone McDavid things. But yeah, the way the team's rallied around him and fed off of what he's been able to do, I think has been a key in these playoffs.
So looking to Game 5, we're going to Calgary. Could this be a game where the Flames kind of calm things down? They're going to have home crowd advantage. What do we see from the Flames in Game 5?
I mean, they're in elimination mode.
Yeah.
So they're going to be desperate. They're going to be hungry. They're going to want to win on home ice. You know, it's going to be a tough game for the Oilers. It's without a doubt going to be the hardest game of the playoffs for them. It's going to be a tough place to go into and succeed in. But hey, you know what? The Oilers went in there and won in Game 2.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think there would be nothing sweeter than to be able to go into Calgary and send 20,000 Flames fans home, you know, with their hands over their faces, right? And that's what the Oilers are going to want to do. They're going to want to go in there. They're going to want to play their style of game. And I think that's what's really going to be important, is just to continue to play their game. You know, not get caught up in the matchups, not get caught up in anything else. Don't get caught up in the moment. For them, it's got to be just another hockey game. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Waz? Like, what do you see as kind of being the key for them?
I think they just got to stay calm and composed and not let the crowd get to them. Essentially, kind of what happened in Game 1. Play the way you did in Game 2. We've been through some adversity so far in these playoffs. You go back to the Kings series, Game 6 and 7. The Oilers have, they've felt pressure, and I think this is going to be a very mature game from them. That's what we're going to need. Just a little bit of maturity.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's something we've seen develop right before in front of our eyes. I'm writing something right now that'll be up by the time people see this video on Oilers Nation, just talking about that, the way that this team is different. The maturity is there. The growth is there. They've learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, I think the Winnipeg series last year was a huge learning lesson for this team.
Yeah.
So, sure, you have to go through like a couple losses like that to really get to become a NHL winning team. I don't know. It's I don't know who said it. I think it was Coombsy or someone was like, the Oilers are just becoming a team that can win in the playoffs now.
Absolutely.
They've learned from their mistakes. And look, for example, you don't have to be the best team in the regular season. Florida Panthers, they just got swept.
Yeah.
Regular season record does not matter in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I even think about a team like Tampa Bay, not to compare the Oilers to the Lightning too much, but I mean, you look at what happened in Tampa. They got swept by Columbus in the first round in 2020, and they came, or 2019, I can't remember, but the year before they won their first of 2 cups, they got swept in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now all of a sudden, look what they've been able to do. Am I saying the Oilers are going to do that? No. But what I'm saying is that much like Tampa Bay had to learn from massive mistakes like that, so have the Edmonton Oilers. And I think, getting that winning mindset, that winning mentality is something that's going to pay dividends for this team, not only this year here, but down the road into the future.
Oddly enough, I think playoff hockey works well into Jay Woodcroft's hands. I think if you think about it, I think it kind of plays into his ability to really break down teams, exploit them, and essentially, like, because, in the regular season, you're having a couple different teams every game. You have to, like, change up how you approach every team. This is a bit different where you're having the same team every game, and Jay Woodcroft is very good at pointing out mistakes, pointing out where players can do better, who we can exploit, what we can, I don't know.
That's a really good point. He's a really smart coach.
Yeah.
He's a really detail-oriented coach.
Exactly.
And he has had the time to pick apart the LA Kings. Now he's had the time to pick apart the Calgary Flames, and credit to not only him, but the players for actually implementing that play as well, right? But yeah, you listen to what the guys have said about Woodcroft, and Mike Smith last night was just singing praise about him, and it's much deserved.
Yeah. I think that's it for our next day reaction, and we'll see you after Game 5, and hopefully maybe a series win.